Hello and welcome to lesson 13 of A Course in Miracles. So lesson 13 is a meaningless world engenders fear. That's a lot to unpack, but let's start with something simple by noting when and how many times you should think about this thought. So in lesson 9, I mentioned that these lessons are not supposed to be understood in a sense, but more applied in your everyday life. And that's why I always say, if you can't do 3 to 4 times during the day, then just do it in the morning or do it in the afternoon, twice a day, right before you start getting ready for the day and right before you go to bed. But anyway, so a meaningless world engenders fear. So with your eyes closed, repeat today's idea to yourself, then open your eyes and look about what you see, slowly saying the words, I am looking at a meaningless world, meaning you're kind of resetting the tape. Okay, so repeat this statement to yourself as you look about, then close your eyes, and then you're going to conclude with, a meaningless world engenders fear because I think I am in competition with God. Now I got to remember, I mentioned from the very beginning that there was going to be mentions of God and some form of spirituality in here. So if the word God triggers you, then call it creator, call it your higher self, call it whatever it resonates with you, that you are going to be with whoever your highest self is. So a meaningless world engenders fear because I think I am in competition with God. So what this statement is going to do, especially for those that have some sort of like battle with God or with religion, it's going to trigger you and you're going to feel the resistance, the fear. So if we remove the whole God aspect into it and we just focus on the love aspect of being single or being in a relationship. If you are single, what is our biggest fear as a single person? Doesn't matter. It still creeps up once in a while. Doesn't matter how long you've been on your healing journey. It's more than likely the fear of loneliness. As a single person, at any point in our lives, we do have those moments where we're like, it would be nice to not be alone, to not do this on my own. It would be nice. And then we kind of shake it off and we continue about our lives, right? And if you are in a relationship, one of the biggest fears that I can maybe think of that you guys might have is that your partner is going to leave you, that your partner is going to either leave you for somebody else, your partner is going to, God forbid, pass away, and now you're going to be alone, and thinking that a world without your partner is meaningless. So that's that on that aspect of relationship. But see, here's the beauty about finding meaningful things within you, finding you. When you find meaning within yourself, then the fear of being single and not finding a partner, if that is your biggest fear as a single person, that you're going to end up alone and you're never going to find anybody that's going to accept you and love you, we just got to shift that perception. If your fear as a couple is that your husband or your wife is going to leave you for somebody else, shift the perception. Is it easy? Of course not. Of course it's not easy. If it was easy, then we would all be fine. When we find meaning within ourselves, then we kind of remove that fear of losing our partners, of being alone for the rest of our lives, because we're really not alone. When you really understand that the whole source of happiness and love comes from with you and not from somebody or a title, it really shifts the perspective and your mentality as far as what this world really means, because it's your world. So this lesson is all really about avoiding and removing that fear of the perception of whatever might be going on in your head. And if you've been following along, you've kind of picked up on the pattern that every single lesson is really just your own version of your perspective and a lot of these things that have happened because of past experiences and have become your new reality, as far as hurt, heartbreak, rejection, not being nurtured when we were younger. And these are all things that have molded us into having these thoughts and building off of those experiences and just having the subconscious be reliving that experience over and over and over again and not really tackling it. When you were doing this lesson, if you are fearing or if you are feeling that resistance, especially with the statement of a meaningless world engenders fear because I think I am in competition with God or with my highest self or with my creator, really take into consideration as to why. Where is that fear coming from? Where did it stem from? And is it really something that you are fearful of? And what do you need to work on within yourself? So I hope that this lesson kind of sort of made sense. Like I mentioned before, they're all kind of very vague and very like out there, but in reality you're supposed to apply them. When you apply them, they make more sense than when you try to understand them. So if you need help, go ahead and give me a call, send me a message, or you can save this for later. Follow if you haven't, and I will see you all in lesson 14. I am sending you all lots and lots of love and light.